Welcome to the Stoic Quotient. This isn't just another channel, this is a rebellion. A rebellion against confusion, noise, and the lies we've been told about what it means to live well. Here, we return to the ancient roots of wisdom, not as dry philosophy but as fire for your soul. We bring you truth, clarity, and time-tested principles to help you navigate modern chaos with calm, strength, and purpose. Because life isn't meant to be endured, it's meant to be understood and mastered. Do you know that you were never free? You have been part of the psyop of modern life, and now you have a stoic path to liberation. You might be wondering, what exactly is a psyop? Originally, the term psyop comes from military strategy psychological operations designed to manipulate, demoralize, and control an enemy. Not through weapons but through information, through fear, through suggestions, through carefully crafted illusion. But in the modern world, you don't need a battlefield to run a psyop. Every time a news cycle is designed to make you afraid, every time an ad convinces you you're not enough, every time a system conditions you to trade your dreams for survival, that's a psyop in disguise. And here's the truth they never wanted you to realize: you're not just the target. You've become the soldier, marching in a war you never chose. But that ends now. The moment you become aware of the programming, you begin to reclaim your inner authority. The Stoics didn't call it a psyop, they called it illusion, ego, false belief. But the antidote was the same then as it is now: clarity, stillness, courage, freedom. Welcome back to yourself. What if your life wasn't yours? What if everything you've believed about success, happiness, love, and freedom was programmed into you by a system that profits from your obedience? Let's go deeper, because this is the part they don't want you to see. Obedience is profitable, your unconscious compliance is currency, and the system cashes in every single day. Here's how. You're more valuable distracted than aware. The more distracted you are, the more ads you click. The more confused you are, the more products you buy. The more disconnected you feel, the more you consume. Not just goods, but identities, opinions, content. They've created a marketplace of insecurity. And well, you've been branded with lack. Not rich enough, not pretty enough, not smart enough, not happy enough. You don't need more truth. You need more stuff. That's profitable. You've been turned into a data farm. You think you're just browsing? No, you're producing data, constantly. Every search, every swipe, every like and pause. It's not just interaction, it's extraction. Your preferences, fears, behaviors, they're being recorded, analyzed, and sold to the highest bidder. You've become the product, and your predictability is the profit. Dependency keeps you loyal. Governments manufacture dependency through regulation and fear. Corporations, well, they feed that dependency with convenience and honestly false comfort. Here's your identity, here's your ideology, here's your prescription, here's your distraction. They give you just enough to stay obedient, but, never enough to actually be free. And when do you try to break free? They label you crazy, radical, non-compliant. Because freedom isn't profitable. But fear absolutely is. False narratives fuel the machine. The system sells stories, work hard and you'll be rewarded. Questioning is dangerous. Stay in line and you'll be safe. Buy this and you'll be loved. They're the enemy, not us. These stories aren't just distractions, they're controls. Each one is designed to keep you in your lane. And that lane? It leads straight to the profit margins of people who never intended to walk beside you, only over you. Internal division equals external profit. They pit you against others, left versus right, poor versus rich, men versus women, black versus white, because while we're fighting each other, no one's fighting them. Divide and conquer isn't just a war tactic, it's a business model, and we've all been sold. The Stoic Response: the Stoics knew you are not disturbed by events but by your interpretation of them. So they took their power back. Not through rebellion, but through clarity. Not by begging the system for change, but by changing themselves so the system no longer had power over them. They owned their minds, and therefore could not be owned. In this raw, soul-shaking episode of the Stoic Quotient, we confront the hidden architecture of control that shapes our daily lives. But we don't stop there. We show you the way out, through stoic wisdom, psychological strength, and emotional self-sovereignty. This isn't just a video, it's a wake-up call, a rebellion of thought, a spiritual jailbreak. If you've ever felt like there's something more to life, this is your moment to remember who you truly are. Welcome to the Stoic Quotient, where we don't just explore ancient wisdom, we use it to break the chains of modern illusion. Let me ask you something unsettling. What if the freedom you think you have is just part of the script? From birth, they handed you a story. They told you who you are, what to believe, what to fear, what to chase. They taught you to strive, to hustle, to sacrifice your soul for a paycheck, and call it purpose. And like obedient players in a game we never designed, we followed the script. But as Marcus Aurelius once said, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. So, ask yourself, what if the version of life you're living isn't truth, but a highly organized illusion? You were conditioned to seek approval, to fear being alone, to dread stillness. Because when you're still long enough, you begin to hear something far more dangerous than any outside threat, your own soul. You begin to question the mask, the race, the need to prove. And questioning is the first step to awakening. Epictetus taught, only the educated are free, not those with degrees, but those who've learned to see beyond the veil. The Stoics never promised comfort, they promised clarity. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And in today's world, the greatest prison is not made of bars. It's made of thoughts, false beliefs, invisible scripts. So how do you break free? Your practice, well, it's about control over your mind, not the world. It's about detachment from what you cannot control, discipline over your desires and impulses, and the courage to stand alone in truth. Gratitude in a world that honestly sells scarcity, and inner peace in a society that thrives on chaos. You stop asking, how do I win the game, and start asking, why am I playing it? You are not your job, you're not your follower count. You are not the sum of your fears, your failures, or even your family's expectations. You are a soul, unshackled, powerful, infinite, and once you see through the illusion, you don't need to escape it. You can walk through it, untouched, like a stoic warrior, calm in the storm. Not because the world is calm, but because you are. This is the truth they never taught you. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. If something inside you has stirred, that's your soul trying to remember, trying to reclaim what was always yours, your mind, your time, your truth. If this message moved you, don't stop here. Your awakening has just begun. Keep watching, keep questioning, and keep walking the path toward a life of greatness. Not the life they told you to want, but the one your soul was born to live. This is the Stoic Quotient. Subscribe, share, and stay with us on this journey. Because the truth is out there, and together we are remembering it. Thanks for watching.